I love democracy.
What's up, Galactic Senators? We're talking about the possibility of Grand Admiral Thrawn showing up in The Bad Batch. I recently published a video discussing the top 5 potential cameos in The Bad Batch Season 2. In addition to my predictions, some of you senators in the comments section speculated on additional cameos such as Darth Maul, Kenobi, or the Inquisitors. And as I thought about who else could make a surprise appearance in The Bad Batch Season 2, one particular alien kept making his way inside my brain. None other than the sophisticated combat expert named Dexter Not that sophisticated combat expert, but Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now I know there will be those in the comments section saying this isn't possible, and you're probably right, at least for the second season of The Bad Batch. I'm confident we will see more seasons of The Bad Batch in the future. I recently posted a poll in the community tab, and as of right now, many of you senators are most excited about The Bad Batch Season 2. It's polling at 42%, just slightly under the Ahsoka series, and way above Mandalorian Season 3, which I think is really interesting. I know the sample for this poll is small, but it's fair to say many Star Wars fans are excited for this upcoming season. And while I'm thinking about it, if you want your voice heard, smash that subscribe button and head over to the community tab to cast your vote and truly become a senator of the channel. The Bad Batch has acted like a launching pad between the Clone Wars series and Star Wars Rebels. We see characters like Kanan Jarrus and Hera Syndulla introduced in the Bad Batch, where they later show up again in Star Wars Rebels. It's the perfect opportunity to get a quick glance at Thrawn himself. I have to admit I'm not extremely familiar with Thrawn's history. As some of you senators may know, I'm somewhere in between a casual and Star Wars superfan. Thrawn is found by the Empire after he falsely exiles himself to gain the Empire's attention and taken to see Palpatine at the Imperial Palace around 16 BBY. Now, Bad Batch Season 1 picks up right after Order 66, which takes place in 19 BBY, and I believe Season 2 will take place just a short time after Season 1. I have to throw in that it would not be surprising if Dave Filoni retcons certain pieces of Star Wars history. In fact, I believe there's an interview where he states that the shows and movies take a certain precedence over the other sources of Star Wars material. So it's possible we could see Thrawn joining the Imperial ranks in the Bad Batch in a later season, or potentially Season 2 if some changes are made to the Thrawn book. It would be interesting to see the members of the Bad Batch run into Thrawn, not yet a Grand Admiral, on a mission of some sorts. We could get a glimpse of him as he's working his way up through the Imperial ranks. Remember, this is just pure speculation, and again, I'm not extremely up to date on Thrawn's history, so comment below if I get something wrong, but I wonder if Thrawn could have associations with Palpatine's plans on Mount Tantus, which we are expecting to learn more about in this upcoming season of The Bad Batch. Maybe he is heavily involved with his cloning operation. I say this because according to the novels, we learn of Thrawn's motives of finding and eventually joining the Empire. With the growing threat against Thrawn's people, the Chiss, in the unknown regions, he fakes exile and hopes the Empire will find him. He could be working with Palpatine, planning for some threat against the Empire in hopes that Palpatine will help the Chiss people if an attack from the outside threat ever took place. This could also lead to why Palpatine goes to Exegol in the unknown regions as part of his contingency plan and creates a massive navy. He may have been working with Thrawn this entire time. And it sort of makes sense. Not only could the First Order be a way for the Empire to re-establish its presence, but it would also serve as a military to fight off the looming threat in the unknown regions, and perhaps the beyond. I don't know how this will tie into the Filoni-verse, such as shows like The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and the Skeleton Crew. I'm wondering if a massive Star Wars event in the Beyond could take place before the sequels, with Thrawn being the major villain of that conflict, while Palpatine is responsible for establishing order in the Star Wars galaxy we know today, but ultimately failing. Or did he? Or it could take place after the sequel trilogy. I don't think we have completely defined the time frame and scope of which the Filoni-verse will take place. All this said, I really hope we can see Thrawn in the Bad Batch. I think it will set things up perfectly for the Ahsoka series and future Star Wars projects centered around the Beyond. If you liked this video, check out a recent video where we speculate that Ezra Bridger will turn to the dark side in the new Beyond.